Good day, gentlemen. Welcome to the Empress Club. Thank you for joining me. This is Book 2, The Kingmaker, Chapter 4, Cleanliness is Godliness. Uh, this, this, this chapter is dear to my heart because it reminds me of my grandmother. My grandmother was huge on cleanliness. Uh, I was younger than 10, no older than 10. I remember someone had said something to my grandmother. I don't know what it was. And they said, holy hell, fire in my grandmother's soul. And that's the first time I heard my grandmother lose her temper and raise her voice. And she told that lady, if I put your food on the floor, you could eat it off the floor. That's how clean my house is. You can eat food off my floor. And the lady left. I've never seen her again after that. I guess she probably knows my grandmother to know to stay away from her since she made her so angry. But that experience made me realize how important cleanliness is. And my grandmother, everything around her was immaculate. She kept the place clean. And I remember once, I don't know if it was punishment or I was helping her, I had to polish her floor with the honey wax. And I had to do that over and over and over and over until I was mirror polish, mirror shine on it. Because she don't like nothing half done and everything must be done right. I know the saying is cleanliness is next to godliness. But as I grew, I realized cleanliness is godliness. Because cleanliness, to me, is a spiritual thing. Because if you've been anywhere where it's filthy, after coming from somewhere that is immaculate and beautiful, it's going to disturb your soul. So I consider cleanliness to be divine. That's why I say cleanliness is godliness. And my mother always was taught that you're to keep your surroundings neat, clean, and organized. So I've got 2 generations of that on me. Neat, clean, and organized. And clean enough to eat off the floor. And as I got older, I realized that a lack of cleanliness to me is like some soul-stealing stuff. Excuse me, I don't know, it just disturbs me. And I wonder, am I feeling this because I'm accustomed to the opposite, or is this a real thing? I don't know, I don't care. I don't like my surroundings untidy, unkept. I like my surroundings neat, clean, organized, and to some extent clean enough to eat off the floor. I don't go as far as my grandmother, but that's where I'm coming from. Clean enough to eat off the floor. And my mother also taught me that with your clothes, you don't have to have new clothes. Just make sure they're clean, neat, and properly pressed. So cleanliness is next to godliness was a part of my life. That's what I grew up with at home, school, and work, and in the community. So it's a way of life. Maybe that's what colors my mind towards it. Or it could be a real thing. But cleanliness is godliness. Now, where was I now? All right. Where was I? I can't remember where I was. I was in one neighborhood in the Bronx. I was traveling from one part of the Bronx to another. And there was a park between an open sewer and a slice of heaven. I even forgot where I was. And I was driving. I was like, oh, wow, this is the Bronx? But then the area was completely different. It looks like it was a movie set. That's what I thought it was at first. But then I realized after passing there 3 or 4 times, because I passed there on the weekends, because it's a lift to the spirit. And it is a thing. Cleanliness is godliness is a thing. I just thought of what Vera Adler said. I think it was you get an emotional boost when you keep your surroundings clean. After you clean up, you get an emotional surge, an uplift in your spirit. And that's where I change it from next to godliness to godliness. I can't remember who said it, but there's a gentleman, oh God, I read so many books I forgot. It just came to mind that you're to keep your surroundings neat, clean, organized, and surround yourself with beauty. There has to be a reason for it, of course. Now, there's two things I want to talk about the reason for it. Because your environment and your surroundings affect you, and you affect your environment. It's a cycle. It can be a beneficial one or a vicious one. The beneficial one is to keep it clean. The beneficial one is to keep it filthy. The vicious one is to keep it filthy. Now, there's a Dr. Frances Wessling. I came across her work in New York in 1999. And she's a psychiatrist, and she talked about the politics of throwing trash. And she said that if you have been reduced to trash in your mind, you have no problem throwing trash, even if you're standing next to a garbage bin. And that's sing to my soul, because when I went to New York, I saw people do that. They stand by the garbage bin and just drop whatever they have when they're done with it on the ground. Have a look at them, the garbage bin, and the thing they drop on the ground. And I'm like, is it that hard to just move your hand 3 inches to drop it in the garbage? But when she said that, I understood. So when you've been reduced to garbage in your mind, you're operating on a very low frequency. And in the first book, The Emperor's Club, you know about the divine frequency, being on a high frequency, because like is drawn to like. Cleanliness is godliness, because cleanliness is on the God frequency. We're not on that heavy vibration of keeping your surroundings filthy and despicable. Now, there's a book I read, and I bought it just because of this. Excuse me. It's called A Magical Child. I bought this way back in 1992. In it, this lady was saying that your mind and your environment are in tune with each other. If your mind, the state of your mind is a reflection of your environment, and the state of your environment affects your mind. And I think about it. How many people have ever been to a holy place that was dirty? An active holy place that was dirty. Most holy places are usually clean. It doesn't have to be elaborate or beautiful, but most holy places are clean. Why do you think that is? Cleanliness, ladies and gentlemen, is godliness. Remember, your body is a temple, so imagine your mind. Cleanliness is godliness. I'll catch you later in chapter 5, which is, don't tell me I lost it. Cleanliness is godliness. All right, I had it right here. Cleanliness is godliness, chapter 6, chapter 5, decisiveness. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Catch you on the flip side. My battery is dying, so I have to go. Sorry about the rush. All right, goodbye.